Today, January 19th, is National Popcorn Day. Popcorn can be very healthy or unhealthy. It depends on how it is prepared. I'm going to make some air pop popcorn for you and show you how to have popcorn in a healthy way. First thing is, I have Orville Redenbacher's Presto popcorn maker. I got that off Amazon. I've checked out a couple different popcorn makers, and some of them spit kernels all over the place, or they don't pop all the kernels well enough, and so this is the one that I settled on, and we use it a lot. It's a workhorse. The next thing is organic popcorn. I bought this at Sprouts, but I think you can find organic popcorn in a variety of stores. This scoop holds half a cup. So this is going into the popcorn maker. And then I get it seated on here, put that up here, throw in any loose kernels that I happen to miss. Now it's ready to plug in. I'll bring my bowl around. That in front of it. This won't take long, and hopefully you can hear me over the popcorn maker. I just want to show you, I'm putting you through the pain of having to listen to the noise so that I can show you how quick it is and just talk to you through the noise. Hopefully this will work. The next thing I'm going to use is when the popcorn is popped, I'm going to spray it with this ghee spray. I also got this at Sprouts. So this gives me the enjoyment of the taste of buttered popcorn, but I can control the amount of fat by not using a whole lot. When I used to pop popcorn in the kettle, I'll show you a picture of that. I would use a whole cup of popcorn, and I would use half a cup of butter poured over the popcorn. Plus, the popcorn was cooked in oil. So it tastes wonderful, but it's quite a clash of the two fuels of carbohydrates and fats together. It makes it a little more challenging for the body to burn that off. So this works a whole lot better. And I will test my blood sugar before I eat this and then after I eat it, and include that in the video as well. So now it's started to pop. It won't take long to finish up. I'll be using the ghee spray, and I'll be using mineral salt. I like the brand Real Salt, but what happens to be in here is just pink Himalayan salt that I bought from Walmart. This is my favorite salt shaker to use in my kitchen for cooking, and then I refill it with either larger purchase bags of real salt, or if I'm out of that, I use the Walmart pink Himalayan salt. Mineral salt is much easier on our body. We need mineral salt, but the chemical processed salt that's heat treated, bleached, it's all white, it pours nice and smoothly, that's more inflammatory to the body. The cells just don't like to take that up as much. So that is all popped now, and actually I can show you that there aren't a whole lot of kernels left in here, because that's one of the things you want to know about whatever popcorn popper you're going to use. So there's just 2 or 3, and almost without fail, when I unplug it, like 1 more or 2 more kernels pop once they sit on that hot metal down here in the chamber. So I'll throw those in, and then I'll just put this back together. I'll put a link in the description box for this popcorn popper. And this is a brand new bottle of this ghee spray. The next thing I do is spray it. So, and I get my salt shaker ready, and I have it kind of on the 3 larger holes that I will be shaking onto here. So I spray salt, and stir. So there's my first spray, and I go over it with a salt shaker and mix it up. Spray again, salt again, stir again. Now, before I eat this, I'm going to test my blood sugar so that I know what my blood sugar is sitting at before I have this, and then I can show you afterwards what happens to my blood sugar. I went and got my phone and my Dario glucose meter. So I'm going to click on my Dario app and pull up the meter. This little Duplo piece. This goes in the bottom of the phone. And I'm going to pull out 5 test strips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to insert one of them and do a finger stick on my pinky. Let me get a tissue. Okay. First number. I'm going to take 5 so I can compare the numbers. I have unlimited test strips, and so I take more numbers than just one reading. I can use the same finger stick. I just keep pulling up a bead of blood before it heals over. So that's my second number. I'll share the numbers with you in a minute. The reason I take 5 numbers is then I can kind of narrow in more accurately on what the situation really is, because all meters have an allowed variance of up to 20%. I think the Dario is a 15% accuracy rate. So last one here, last test strip going in, and I didn't have to stick myself multiple times. The one drop did it for me. Your own saliva has healing properties. All right, those are my 5 numbers. Now I'll show them to you. Just a second, let me throw these away. Pull the meter out and put it back in my Dario meter. So that's my whole kit right there, with the lancing device, the test strips are in here, and the meter is under this little switch. You just pop it up and it comes out. Back to the numbers. All right. Let's see if you can read. Oh, no, I'll have to turn the camera around for you just a second so you can read. The glare, for some reason, it doesn't work in this direction. Let me turn the camera around. There you go. There are my numbers. You can see I got an 81, a 78, an 80, an 80, and a 90. So I'm going to say that my glucose is reading at an 80 milligram per deciliter, and that is a very nice fasting morning glucose. I have not eaten yet today, so I'm still in the fasted state. Now I've tested, so I know what my fasting glucose is before I start eating this popcorn, and I can just sort of do a test on myself to see what does the popcorn do to my blood sugar level. I'll have some, and then I will test again in a half an hour and an hour, and maybe in 2 hours, we'll see. Time to taste and see how this is, whether I need to add more salt or whether I want to spray again or not. That's pretty good right there. I could be more indulgent with the butter and the salt if I wanted. It's not too salty, which is good, because when you get it too salty, that's no fun. It's got just the right amount. So I think instead of adding any more of anything, I'll just stop with, I had done that spray, salt, stir, spray, salt, stir. And this is good, but it's up to individual taste what you want to do for how much salt or fat you want to spray on here. I'm going to get a serving bowl for myself. So I don't know how many cups this would be. It doesn't really matter. I don't care. Typically, I would eat the whole thing by myself. But I'm being a little more reasonable. This works out to serve myself and my husband. Whoops. Popcorn. So I'll show you. These are two Corral bowls. The medium size, not the largest one. So I can top these off very nicely. Then when my husband gets home tonight, actually maybe I should put these in a couple bowls and leave a bowl on each place setting for my husband and my son. It is popcorn day, and it would be nice for them to find a treat. See, I won't be here when they get home tonight. I'm going to be playing Mahjong. I have on my Mahjong jewelry. That's the big tip-off that today is Mahjong day. And I'm going to take all this and show my Mahjong friends how to have healthy popcorn as well. So they get to be part of this. I'm going to split this up into 2 bowls for my son and my husband. I guess maybe I won't eat as much for myself this time. We'll see. I want to make theirs look generous enough without being stingy. So I can take some off from my bowl. That will also give you an idea of how much I consumed when I give you my blood sugar reports, because this will be the only thing other than my water that I'll be having with the blood sugar, so I can run a test. All right, that's about even. So there we go. There, that's what they'll see when they get home tonight, and I'll probably text them today and say Happy National Popcorn Day or something, so that they'll not wonder what's going on, why I left popcorn at their place settings. I'm gonna load up the description box of this video with links for you. I have an article from Dr. Axe about how popcorn can be healthy or unhealthy. It's a good read, and it talks about the nutritional benefits to having popcorn. It's certainly a better crunchy, salty snack than potato chips, much more natural because it's a whole food. It's from the whole grain of the popcorn. So this is the quantity I will eat. I expect that's what, maybe 3 cups, 4 cups tops. And so there will be a link for this in the description box. I'll link to real salt, but you can probably find that at a Sprouts store. It's more economical to buy a big bag of real salt and then just use this as a refill container. What else do I want to share with you? I want to share a link to Dario. So all meters have an error allowance rate of 15 to 20%. Dario's is a 15%. I think I said earlier 15% accuracy. No, it's allowed a 15% error rate. But I also will put a link for the Relion meter that you can get at Walmart, because that's the fastest way to get started testing your blood sugar. You just go to Walmart, you buy a $20 test kit, and you will be able to test your blood sugar you'll have 50 strips to use to test your blood sugar. And you don't have to use 5 strips every time you test. I tend to do everything over the top. So, 2 or 3 test strips, and then you'll know what your blood sugar is. Even with a range of 15 to 20% allowable error rate. This costs me $200 a year, and I get unlimited test strips. I'll put a link for this in the description box. I'm not an affiliate for it. I'm just a very happy customer. I've been using Dario for about 4 years now. I've been testing my blood sugar as a way to manage my weight and wellness. And there'll be a link for my story about that in the description box as well. So I think I've shared everything that I want to share with you. And now I'm going to go over there to my tread desk and do some walking. I have to study for my class that started. I accidentally cut myself off. What I was saying is I need to go over and walk at the tread desk over there because I have a college class to study for. I'm started a new semester on Tuesday. This time I'm in a nutrition class. I'm taking the very slow tortoise rate to a bachelor's degree someday. And this semester it's nutrition. Last semester it was microbiology. This semester will be a whole lot easier because it's just the nutrition class and it's online, so I don't have to show up to campus. And what else do I want to say about that? Oh, it's easier because it doesn't have a lab with it. Microbiology was both lecture and lab. Proud to say I got a B in the class. I've been walking over here at my tread desk, studying, reading my textbook, and I took a glucose reading 30 minutes after I finished eating the popcorn, and my 5 numbers are the following: 105, 99, 102, 114, 108. So if I look at those and try to eyeball which one I think it is, give myself a glucose number, I would say I'm going to go with the 105. And then the next reading that I got at 1 hour, at the 1 hour mark, I was taking a dip way down. So I got a 68, a 71, a 64, a 66, and 105. And so I'm going to say that my glucose was probably a 71. So I need to pack up now and get on with going to Mahjong. And the drive will be about, between now and the drive, when I arrive, I'll have another half an hour under my belt. So I'll take another glucose number then for you. This is fascinating to me. I just arrived at the host home for playing Mahjong, and my glucose numbers are now 85, 91, 88, 84, 96. So I'm going to say that I'm at an 85. So this is the change in my glucose numbers is interesting to me. It's the only thing I've had to eat today is the popcorn, the portion that you saw. So I'm going to set my timer for another half an hour and try to slip away for a minute from playing Mahjong and take my numbers again and then report on them before I finish up this video. And I will also show you a graphic from Jessie in Chauspay, who's known as the glucose goddess, and she did a test on herself, or one of her people did, on the difference between having, I think, caramel popcorn and popcorn maybe like I'm having it, made with just salt and I think she used coconut oil spray. I'll show you the graphic in that. You can see that here on the screen. And you can see the difference in what happens to the glucose based upon what you eat. And both things were popcorn, but there's very different outcomes in how the body manages it and what it does to the glucose range in the body. So it's time for me to go on into playing Mahjong. A friend's coming over, so. I'm home from playing Mahjong. I showed the ladies, not showed them, I made the air-popped popcorn for them and told them about it being National Popcorn Day. And we, let's see, I won 3 games of all the games we played, and we ate our meal together that we normally do. And then I came home. So now I just need to wrap up this video. What I was saying before in the car, before I had to cut off quickly, was that Jessie in Chesapeake was showing the picture of the difference between having popcorn two different ways. So she tested, or someone tested, having the popcorn that was, I think, caramel corn, which meant it had a lot of sugar, and it probably was, I don't know if it was air popped or not, but the sugar along with the popcorn probably was what caused the big rise in the blood glucose, and didn't give as good a glucose outcome as having the popcorn that was with the coconut spray and coconut oil, which I don't know whether it was cooked air fried or not, or not air fried, air popped or not, like mine was done today. But when popcorn is air popped, you're not adding any fat to make it pop. And then I added a little bit of fat by spraying the ghee butter spray. And I do want to say that may be hard to find, the ghee spray. So when I can't find it, what I use is either olive oil spray or avocado spray. I don't think I would use the butter flavored spray that is maybe Crisco brand or something. It's just too chemically for my preferences. So I try to have as natural a type of ingredient as possible, because it's my belief that that's easier for the body to deal with. I'm going to go over all the numbers that I wrote down from the time that I tested before I took a bite of the popcorn until 4 hours later, when I had finished everything, but I hadn't taken another meal. It was just the popcorn. So I started at a baseline of 80, which was that was my morning fasted glucose number, because I was still fasted at that point in the day. And then after I had eaten the last bite of popcorn, I tested 30 minutes later, and I'd gone up to 105. Then I bumped another 30 minutes after that. I had dropped down to 71, which tells me my insulin was working very effectively to drive the energy into the cells. Then half an hour later, I had popped back up to 85, so my body's still dealing with the glucose, but not tremendously. Then I bumped down again to a 79. And then finally, about 4 hours later, from before I had taken my first bite until 4 hours later, when I was done, my glucose had settled back down almost to baseline again, 82. So I will put up a graphic that will show you some numbers, both in milligrams per deciliter and millimoles, because it depends on what part of the world you're in, which measurement would make sense to your mind if you are at all familiar with glucose numbers. So that chart will show you what ideal numbers are, and for fasting, and post-meal numbers after you've eaten. And that was a very interesting test to me. I have never tested a single food like that. Normally I would not just eat popcorn alone. I would combine that with part of a meal. I would have had protein. I would have had some vegetables. But I was curious to see what I would see. It's kind of what Jessie in Chesapeake, the glucose goddess, does. She tests different kinds of foods in different combinations to see what the glucose will do based upon the order of the food, the order in which you eat your food, or what you combine your food with, because that has an effect on glucose. It has an effect on glucose, whether you're sick or whether you're under stress. whether you didn't get enough sleep, whether you've exercised. All of those things have an effect on our glucose. Anyway, that's it. I have completed the test. I've had a great day. I got some studying done. I got some walking done. I got to hang out with friends, play mahjong, and share something that is important to me with you. Thank you for watching my video.